So we're recording this on Good Friday, but it was a wonderful Wednesday for Arsenal, beating Real Madrid in the Bernabeu again. 5-1 on aggregate. It seems scarcely believable. 5-1 on aggregate against Real Madrid. That is a special, special scoreline. And Arsenal are now back in the Champions League semi-finals for the first time since 2009. First of all, how does that sound to you?
Sounds very nice. It sounds very nice, and it's very well deserved as well. Arsenal have been brilliant in Champions League this season. It's not been the best of Premier League seasons, but in the Champions League, they've been very good. That one little sort of blot on the copybook with the defeat in Inter Milan, where even then they could have easily come away with something from that game. So they've been really, really good. You know, excellent in the league phase, done excellent in the knockouts. But then, what happened on over the two legs against Real Madrid just took it up another level to beat them 3-0 at home and then to go to the Bernabeu and sort of double down on that and beat them there to, 5-1, like you say. It's just a remarkable scoreline. It's a coming of age moment. It's a statement sent across Europe. If anyone didn't think Arsenal were a serious team, they certainly do now. And it was a performance which shows that they are ready to win the Champions League. I'm not saying they're going to win the Champions League, but they're good enough to. They're more than good enough to. And they showed that over the course of the two legs against Real Madrid. The way they dealt with everything on Wednesday night. There were so many impressive things about the game and about the two legs, but the way they dealt with everything and all the noise that had been going on in the build up to the game, certainly from Madrid, from noises coming out of Madrid and the players and the fans and the media over there. They were just totally unfazed. There was no fear factor, nothing. They just went out there, they believed themselves, and they got the job done in such an emphatic way. It was superb.
It was, yeah. I think coming of age is the best way to describe it. Yeah, I don't think Real Madrid will be using the word remontada anymore. I think that's expired.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there were so many amazing individual displays, of course. But I mean, the team as a whole, look, Real Madrid, they have these amazing individual players. But was that a case of, Arsenal as a collective team beating a bunch of individuals?
yeah. I think it absolutely was. Um, the way as the game wore on, that you could see the belief drain out of Real Madrid. They could just see that no matter what they tried or what they attempted or how much they tried to get under Arsenal's skin, how many times they threw themselves on the floor or tried to provoke something, they could just see that it wasn't going to work. And you could just see the belief slowly drain out of them. And you could see Arsenal just sort of rise in stature, especially from the start of the second half onwards. They just thought, yeah, this lot have got nothing. They're not going to get through us. We're better than them. And you could just see Madrid shrink and Arsenal get bigger and bigger. And I just thought that was so impressive. It was just the ultimate team performance. I think there was obviously brilliant individual performances, like you said, but from the team, from David Raya, how calm and composed he was, how he came for crosses, the two centre backs, Miles Lewis Skelly. I mean, what more words can you say about him? Jurriën Timber, just an exceptional, exceptional footballer, and how they all just came together to produce this superb team performance. I'm delighted. I'm so happy Gabriel Martinelli got that goal at the end so that Arsenal won on the night because they absolutely deserved to win that night. And I think it would have been a real shame. I wouldn't have lost any sleep about it, but it would have been a real shame had it been 1-1 and Arsenal not got the actual victory on the night itself. So I was delighted that he kind of put the perfect gloss on a brilliant day.
Certainly was, excuse me, yes, certainly was special. And you've already alluded to it already. Arsenal have to be taken seriously in this competition. Of course, it's PSG next in the semi-finals, which of course we'll preview properly closer to the time. And then could be Barcelona or Inter Milan in the final. That'll be a blockbuster. But Arsenal have knocked out the champions, convincingly, unfazed, like you said. So, do they have to be considered genuine contenders to win the whole thing?
Well, they have to be. They're in the semi-finals. Only four teams left, so absolutely. And every single team that is left in the competition will be looking at Arsenal and see them as a threat. Arsenal have comfortably beaten PSG this season already. I know PSG now are a very different animal to the one that they were when they turned up at the Emirates. There was no Dembele that night. They've brought in Kvaratskhelia since then, and attacking wise, they just look a completely different outfit to the one that Arsenal, you know, dismantled. Frankly, at the Emirates, it was such a comfortable win. But that will give Arsenal a lot of confidence, and it will put a seed of doubt in PSG's mind that they know they've come to the Emirates before this season and been comfortably beaten. Physically, Arsenal absolutely dominated PSG on that night. It was kind of like a men against boys type performance. So the ones that we used to see Arsenal be on the reverse of when they'd come up against a Chelsea or a Manchester City or something like that. And it really sort of felt like Arsenal were patting PSG on their heads almost and saying, "Go, come on, little boys, come on, keep up." And it was, they physically dominated that game. That's not going to happen this time around. As I said, PSG are a completely different team, and it's going to be a really difficult two legs for Arsenal, especially once again with the second leg away from home. Um, but they won't fear it. You know, you've beaten the European champions. You've knocked the European champions out. You've beaten them home and away. There's nothing left to fear in this competition. There'll be a hell of a lot of respect for the teams that are left, but they won't fear them. They'll believe that they can win it.